I'm Ivy Payne. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I've been so excited for this day. I saw Minari like a couple weeks ago, so it's a
Oh,
treat
you
for
did.
me to sit with you
Oh,
and ask you questions about the movie and your journey. So,
oh my God. Happy to be here.
so I was doing a little research, and you've had a busy year. Last year, 2020, you had like several shorts that you did, TV
Mhm.
series, and then last but not least, Minari.
Yes.
I want to start with Minari because there's a lot of award buzz going on. It's around the corner, and you guys
Right.
got nominated for Screen Actors Guild um, and Golden Globes.
Yes.
How did this project land on your lap, or how did it come about? What was the journey? Your
So it
journey.
I came about it in a really roundabout way because I had heard about Minari, but I knew that the cast was already set, and um, but then one day my friend called and said, "Hey, are you free tomorrow? Um, Minari is casting for their child actors, and they need a reader who's fluent in Korean so they can audition these kids in Korean." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I have some time tomorrow during the day and I'm fluent in Korean." I was like,
Right.
"Oh yeah, that'd be super fun. I'd be happy to help out." So then I went, and then I actually ended up working with them for like 2 or 3 days with the casting director, the director Isaac, and Steven. And it was, I mean, it was so fun because I saw Alan, the little
Oh,
boy
oh
in,
my gosh.
and
He's
I
so
mean,
cute.
yes, and
And he's
we
so
had,
good.
he was so good. And we had auditioned, a bunch of little boys,
Right.
but as soon as we saw him on screen, and it wasn't even in person the first time, it was on the computer, but even on the computer, it was like magical. And then, the next day or 2 days later, when he came in person,
Mhm.
I mean, it was like there was no question. He's our boy. So that's how I first got involved in the project. I didn't even think that there would be for a few days,
Mhm.
super fun, and then that was it. And then I don't know, about like a week later. So yeah, so we were working with the child actors and did that for a few days, and it was super fun. Um, and I didn't think there was any role available because I knew it was set in like Arkansas and they were going to shoot in Oklahoma.
Mhm.
Um, but then about a week later, Julia, the casting director,
Okay.
contacted me, and chicken chicken sexer, and they were going to do a local hire, but actually Isaac, the director, was interested to see if you'd be interested, and I was like, would I be
Oh
interested? Of
my gosh.
course,
That's amazing.
Yeah. And so she was like, yeah, so if you're interested, just put yourself on tape, hear a few pages, and, they just want to see, what you do. So then
Yeah.
I did. And then I got a call saying Isaac loved it. And do you want to do it? And I said, yes, that'd be
Oh
so fun.
my gosh,
Yeah. So
that's
then,
awesome.
yeah, so it was kind of in a roundabout way, but I think that kind of speaks to how this industry works sometimes. It's like the relationships and things like
Hmm.
that. So, yeah, so I booked it. And so it was actually, we shot in 2019. So
Oh, okay,
it
okay.
was late summer of 2019, super hot. And then so I went to Oklahoma for a few days and shot, and that's my Minari story.
I love it. I love it how it was just so organic. And
Yeah,
how
it
was
was
it
good.
like working along with like some heavy hitters, like a lot of like a few well-known Korean actors. I want to make sure that I'm saying
Oh
their
yeah.
names right. Han Ri and Yoon
Uh,
Jung. How
oh
was
my
it
God.
working alongside them?
Well, I'm bummed that I didn't get to work with Yoon Jung, the grandma, because I had no scenes with her.
Oh, right,
Because
right, right.
she is like, I mean, she is a rock star in Korea. She's so famous. She's a veteran. I mean, she's an A-lister in Korea. So
Hmm.
I'm super bummed I didn't get to work with her. But I did get to work with Han Yeri, and
Hmm.
she's also like a bona fide legit star, right?
Uh-huh.
She was lovely. I mean, she's um, you know, the scenes I had with her, I mean, you know, she's just such a natural, wonderful actress. And she's so nice. You know, the thing is, everyone on this film was so nice.
Hmm.
You know, Hanyeri, super kind, generous, very gentle.
Hmm.
Um, you know, she's not she is what you see on screen, kind of like very thoughtful,
Hmm.
introspective. You know, I was the more like loud one. She's, you know, very calm,
Um,
gentle. And even like Steven, who's a star, I mean, the
yeah.
most humble, generous, kindest, nicest guy ever.
Hmm.
And Isaac, oh my God, like the most gentle soul ever. It was everything about this experience, even
Hmm.
from when I first got involved with helping with casting, all the way to
Hmm.
shooting, and even now, just a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Did you know, like, when you got this, like, before, when they called you for help for casting, did
Mhm.
you know that it would be like this huge, like, get nominated? Like, what were your thoughts?
Oh my God, no
No
idea.
idea.
Yeah, and even after I read the script and I was like, oh, what a beautiful story. And then, you know, after shooting and all, it just I mean, I don't know if the producers or anyone else had a clue, but I had no clue that it would
Hmm.
be this. I just thought, oh, what a beautiful indie family movie
Uh-huh.
that tells like a Korean immigrant story. You know, I honestly did not think more than that.
Uh-huh.
You
Uh-huh.
know, I thought, oh, wow, you know, I mean, I did think like because I've done the the festival circuit
Right.
before, and so I thought, oh God, like I feel like this would do really well on the festival circuit.
Mm.
But I was thinking, you know, Sundance, like
Mm.
Tribeca, like
Right.
film festival. I honestly did not even think beyond that. I just thought it would do really well on the festival circuit, and you know, it's a great story, a beautiful story. I no idea. I had no
It
idea it
is.
would
It
become this.
is a
And
beautiful
it's
story.
so nice to see it doing so well.
Yeah, I cried, I laughed. I
Yes.
mean, it really resonated with me because I am an immigrant. Like I
Yes.
came out here when I was 3 from the Philippines, so
Mhm.
I can relate to the struggle.
Yes.
Coming out here with your family, dropping everything, and I'm sure it has for you. Like your life experience, how has it influenced or inspired you in your role for this film?
Man, you know, so I'm also a child of first generation immigrants.
Mhm.
And so I I saw just like you know, we grew up with our immigrant families and saw the sacrifices that they made, saw you know, the hardships that they you know, went through, continue to go through in some way.
Mhm.
And so, you know, when I was shooting, um, and I was sitting there in an actual chicken hatchery, handling the chicks. Oh man, I felt I get emotional thinking about it sometimes
Mhm.
because when I was sitting there, so interesting because you know, I'm doing a bunch of these interviews and
Right.
you know, a lot of these like, you know, inevitably like um these discussions of like immigrant struggles, like race and racism come up. And I've been really surprised at myself about how emotional I get, you know? And I mean,
It's very
granted,
personal. I mean, you could relate to it.
yeah,
It hits
yeah.
home.
Um, so when I was sitting there in that chicken hatchery,
Hmm.
it's not very bright. It's, you know, it's darkly lit. Uh, it's hot. It's stuffy, it's smelly, and you're sitting there staring at chicken butts, squeezing poop out, separating them, and I really felt that sense of like the grit and resolve of immigrants and the things that they are willing to do to seek a better life for themselves and their family. I really just like, I felt like I just really felt that spirit
Hmm.
when I was in that farm. And I wasn't even really doing the work, I was just pretending. But,
Hmm.
even just being there in that setting for the hours that we were there,
Hmm.
oh man, I really, sorry, I'm like,
It's
snot,
okay.
tears. Um, yeah, so, I really kind of just felt that struggle. Um,
Hmm.
and just, the resolve of immigrants and what we were willing to, what our, parents' generations and, what they were willing to do and to sacrifice
Hmm.
for hopefully a better life, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about this film. I mean, on the surface, one would think, oh, it's about a Korean family that's migrating to the States, to,
Yeah.
American dream, right?
Yeah.
But it's deeper than that. I mean, you can see it's about love, it's about resilience,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
about the struggle,
yeah.
and the role that a man takes of wanting to provide for his family,
Oh gosh.
and the
Yes.
women, the wife, Monica,
Hmm.
being the rock of the
Yeah.
family. And then the
Holding it
kids
down.
just trying, yeah, it's just like anyone could relate to that.
Yeah. Yes.
So, yeah, it was a well done film, and I just hope that more people are exposed to it, because it's just
Yes.
not about an immigrant family. There's more to it than that, right?
Yeah, and I mean, the themes you see in the movie are so
Hmm.
relatable,
Yes,
even if you're not an immigrant,
right.
that desire to, for the dad, like pursuing his dream, pursuing his passion,
Hmm.
for the mom, like, you know, providing, holding it down, the kids
Hmm.
being kids, so
Right.
like, yeah, even if you're not an immigrant, I feel like the themes you see about family, love, survival,
Hmm.
pursuit of happiness,
Oh,
so
yes.
relatable. Everything's so relatable.
So, oh my gosh, and when and now I'm forgetting his name in the film. Is it Adam? The no, the
David.
child David. Is it
David.
David?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, when he gave his grandma the bowl of pee, I'm like, okay, that a kid would totally do.
Oh my God.
I could see one of my cousins doing that.
Yeah. No, those scenes with David and his grandma, gold.
Oh my gosh.
Was gold. Yeah.
Absolutely love it. He's
I
even nominated for like
Yes.
Critics' Choice or something, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, he's been nominated for a few things. I'm
Oh
so
my
thrilled for him.
gosh.
This was his first like professional acting experience.
Wow.
Yeah, he
He
just
is a
has this,
natural.
he's a natural. Yeah, one of the things Steven said about him after we were done, auditioning a bunch of other little boys.
Mhm.
And some of these boys come with professional acting experience.
Mhm.
But with Alan, David, he, Steven said, even though he's not a professional actor, just naturally, he had this ability to really just tune in
Mhm.
to where Steven was emotionally
Mhm.
in the scenes that they were auditioning together. He was just so focused and tuned in. So, some people, they're just born with it, I guess.
Right, right, right. What are your thoughts, Esther, on this film not qualifying for Best Picture because apparently because it's spoken in a foreign language, which in this case it's Korean, like
Yeah.
50, I think what's the percentage? 50% or more is
Yeah.
spoken in foreign language. It's disqualified,
Yeah.
even though the creator, the writer and director is an American born in Denver, I think, right?
Yeah. I, you know, as I'm sure you've heard from everyone, like,
Uh-huh.
because Asian American filmmakers have been like in an uproar about this.
Right.
It's so frustrating because it's not like Parasite was a foreign film.
Hmm.
Minari is not a foreign film. It's an American made by an American production company, filmed in America, written and
Hmm.
directed by an American,
Right.
starring Americans, except for
Hmm.
two people who are from Korea.
Uh-huh.
So, any way you look at it, it's an American film. It was made in America by Brad Pitt's production company. You
Right.
know?
I was like, ooh, Brad Pitt's behind it. So this must be because the credits, like you see it at the beginning, right? Well, for me, I saw it at the
Yeah.
beginning, and I saw
Plan
Brad
B.
Pitt's.
Yeah, Plan B Productions is Brad Pitt's production company.
Hmm.
A24 is an American distribution company.
Right.
So aside from the faces you
Hmm.
see on screen and the language that it's in, it's a completely American film. And so
Right.
it's incredibly frustrating. And, I just really hope with all these people, hopefully, speaking out strongly enough that they'll change some of these rules that are
They need
very
to.
archaic. And I
Hmm.
mean, it's an American film
Right.
and but just because one thing that there's a lot of Korean in it, it's not
Hmm.
going to qualify, even though in every other category it meets criteria. So I really hope that this leads to discussion of changes in the eligibility criteria because it's incredibly frustrating to see it excluded just because of that one thing, language.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so frustrating. Well,
it's
hopefully,
so
yeah, like you
frustrating.
said, that they make a change for the future because there's a lot of stories that need to be told that aren't always in English, and it
No,
can have an impact on changing the world and people's lives. So,
yeah, and
yeah,
and we don't want, and we don't want, and we want filmmakers to be able to make films like that and keep it authentic, especially
right.
the language, and because then you're gonna have people start thinking like, should we have things in English even though it doesn't ring as authentic
Yeah.
or as true? And
Hmm.
so, yeah, so hopefully there are discussions going on, you know, about those
Yeah.
things, eligibility criterias and all that.
Right. So in your performance, you were actually praised by Parasite filmmaker Bong Joon-ho.
Yes.
What did he say?
So he was, yeah, the subtitles that came out wasn't like, it wasn't 100%, uh, it didn't cover everything he said. He was,
Mhm.
first he was, complimenting Isaac on finding his cast, right? Just
Mhm.
Steven and Han Yeri and Yoon Yo-jung and Ellen, just like, it was just it's such a golden, it's so golden. And
Mhm.
so Bong Joon-ho was saying, as a director, I'm so jealous of your cast. They were so perfect. And then
Mhm.
he said, even that lady who was sitting next to
This is
Monica and chicken sexing, she was great too. And then he added, she really had that look, that face of that immigrant struggle.
Oh,
Yeah,
I totally agree. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
now that he says
So
it, yes.
yeah, so he added that comment, but the subtitles didn't capture that part.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he
yeah.
said, yeah, she really captured that emotion and that face of the immigrants' struggles. So
Oh,
yeah, so that
I
was so cool.
love it.
I
That's
mean,
so cool.
it was cool. It was super cool. It, I mean, to be real though, I think that speaks not so much to my performance, but I think that really speaks to him as a director that he
Mm-hmm.
noticed even
The
these
lip.
small things, these
Mm-hmm.
small
It's always,
supporting roles, these
yeah.
minute details. So I think it really speaks to him as a director that he noticed me, you know what I mean?
I
And
love that.
yeah, but I appreciate it. And,
That
I
is
was like,
awesome, Esther.
call me.
Right? I'll be in your next movie.
Yeah, you need another, you need a middle-aged woman who captures that immigrant struggle. Call me, please. I'm available.
That is funny. I watch a lot of like variety, like the actors on actor interviews are
Yeah,
so much fun to watch. And they're
yeah,
like
I
their
love those.
stories that they share, how they got there
Mhm.
to acting. And what was your journey like getting into acting
Oh man.
to
Well, I have
Hollywood?
yes, to Hollywood. Well, I have breast cancer to thank for that.
Wow, wow.
um, So I've always loved acting ever since
Mhm,
I was a child. So in elementary school, any school production, church production, I was in it. Junior high, high school, I was in drama class, drama club.
mhm.
Even in college, I took every theater class you could take without being a theater major. That's how much I loved it. And then in college was when I first thought, oh wow, is this like a career option?
Mhm,
But I mean, it wasn't even up for discussion with my Korean parents. It was just promptly shut down.
mhm,
And, I wasn't even given the chance to even explore it. And, when you're like 21, 22, at that time, I didn't have like the galls to be like, well, screw you. This is what I
mhm,
want to do. And you can cut me off, and I'm going to go waitress somewhere to support myself and pursue this. I just didn't
mhm,
have it in me at that time. And then, I did find another career field that I enjoyed in
mhm,
social work and mental health. And so, I went to grad school, I got licensed, and I worked. But I was always that person where if I ever heard of an open casting call somewhere, I would call in sick, take a day off of work, and go stand in line for like 5 hours to audition.
wow.
So I've always loved it. Um, and then, so that was me. And then about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I got diagnosed with breast cancer. And so I stopped working. I had a couple of surgeries, went through chemo, the whole 9 yards with treatment. And then after all that was done, and I was, starting recovery, I was kind of thinking ahead to, what work do I want to go back to doing, once I'm better? Because I had some decent options, I had worked for Department of Mental Health for a long time. I was adjunct faculty at a couple of colleges. But the one and only thing that I could think of wanting to do was acting, just once and for all, just going for it. And at that time, I had been so sick. I was bald from chemo. And so when I said, I want to go do some acting, who's going to say no, right?
Right.
I mean, you just completed like this grueling cancer treatment. So
Mhm,
everyone was like, yeah, go for it. Even my family was like, yeah, go for it. Um, and I think everyone thought, I'd do it for like 6 months, get it out of my system and go back to like a real job.
mhm.
But here I am, like 5 years later, and I love it more than ever. And now I really cannot imagine doing anything else. I love it so much. So, yeah, even acting, it was kind of a roundabout, you know, thanks to an illness that I went to through. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I got into it. Yeah.
Oh wow. And then not only are you an actor, you also produce and you write. Like what's next after Minari? What are your future plans? What are your hopes for the future?
Oh man. So I mean, there's a there's a new TV show. Uh, I can't like, how they are with
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
NBC.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So there's a new TV show that I booked a supporting role in,
Uh-huh.
that's been getting delayed because of COVID.
Yeah.
So you know, hopefully we'll shoot that later this year. There's a couple of other projects in the works, but on the producing and writing end, so I'm not really a writer.
Okay.
but I love creating stories.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so there's actually this story that I'm working on. Um, I see it as kind of a limited miniseries type of like a dark comedy dramedy uh, based in Koreatown, Los Angeles in the
I love.
90s, from the perspective of five women.
Mhm.
And it starts with a murder at this nightclub. And in pursuit of in the process of kind of trying to figure out that murder, the story takes you through all like these layers of Koreatown, starting from the top with like community leaders, church leaders, the shining star of the community, all the way down to like even the underground illegal Korean taxi drivers, the hostess bars filled with, you know, immigrants who are pseudo trafficked. And like, I mean, just it takes you through all like the underbelly of Koreatown life. And the thing is, all these stories are not even completely fictional. These are things that actually happened in
Wow.
real life that I'm fictionalizing and putting together in one story. Um, so I'm working on that story. I've talked to a couple of producers who, you know, they're like, oh my God, this is like based on real events. Like this is crazy. I'm always, in the works with something. Um, and so, we'll see which comes to fruition. So it's really exciting, several different things going on.
Wow. I mean, I'd
Yeah.
watch that. That sounds like a lot of fun to watch. And
Yeah.
it's
Yeah. It's,
real, so that's
yeah.
awesome.
I mean, every time I mention a few stories, they're like,
Yeah.
this shit is real? Like, what the heck? Yeah. Yeah, so I'm excited. And it just, I mean, once I get the story down, I'll probably hire a professional writer to really kind of polish things up and tighten things up. But I love creating stories.
I love
It's
that.
just so fun for me. Yeah,
Yeah. So
love
I
it.
want to like leave off because I really want to mention you're an actor, producer, all these things, but you're also a wife, a mother, a licensed foster parent, and you actively support various organizations that raise funding for cancer research and awareness. What are some of those organizations that you can share with us so our readers could know?
Sure. So, as a licensed foster parent,
Mhm.
I'm with the County of Los Angeles
Okay.
Department of Children and Family Services. So that's a department that we actively support as foster parents.
Hmm.
Um, and also, there's an organization called Covenant House of Hollywood.
Hmm.
Uh, they're a um, they're a homeless shelter for runaway youth ages 18 to 24.
Hmm.
And so they're in Hollywood. I've been involved with them for about 5, 6 years now. Uh, and the way I'm involved with them is it's not just financially, but a group of
Hmm.
us, my friends and I, who all happen to be Korean or mixed Korean.
Uh-huh.
Uh, we've been going once a month uh, to they call us the Korean family dinners.
I love
So we
it.
go and we hang out with the residents of their 2 year shelter program. And we just go and we cook Korean food all the time. That's kind of like our thing. We
Uh-huh.
cook Korean food and we just hang out like a family dinner once a month. I bring my karaoke machine, we'll do
Oh, I
karaoke.
love
Sometimes
it.
we'll do like crafts and we'll just like dance around. And so that's an organization that's very close to my heart. Um, and as far as cancer organizations go, uh, there's not just one, but I there's like different organizations. There's like the big ones like Stand Up to Cancer, but there's
Hmm.
also like smaller groups that provide uh, like support for like um, helping cancer patients get like a house cleaning service or meal deliveries,
Hmm.
all the things that I received as support when I was going through cancer treatment. And
Hmm.
so whenever I see organizations that do those kind of things. I really like supporting them as well. Um, Even through social media, uh, just I random cancer uh, patients or survivors, through hashtags or whatnot, I
Yeah.
guess they find me. And so, just kind of support on a personal one-on-one level like that.
Yeah.
So, those are some of the ways, I try to stay involved in the community.
Oh, you have been. When I was reading on you, I was like, she is such an inspiration. And now
Oh my
meeting
God.
you, like
Oh,
it's been such a treat to sit and chat with you about
oh my
Minari
God.
and your
So
journey. It
kind of
is
you.
really inspiring, and I just want to wish you luck and best wishes. And hopefully, we'll stay in touch. But
Yes.
thank you so much for your
Yeah.
time
Oh
with
my God.
Mochi Mag.
Thank you for having me for this conversation. It was a pleasure.
And I'll see you on the red carpet and when you
Yes.
get your awards.
Yes, yes. Look for me.
Right? All right,
Yeah.
Esther. Thank
All
you
right.
again.
Thank you so much. This was
Of
so fun.
course. Yes.
All right. Have a
Bye.
good one. Thank
Thank you.
you.
You too.
Bye.